Action.
How's it going, guys? Martine from Matthew's Studio coming to you once again. We're in the living room. We're not in the backyard. We're not in the front yard. We're in the living room. It's nighttime. It's been a long day. We've been at the mercy of a 3-year-old who is finally asleep, and my wife has been behind the lens just trying to knock this out with me. And here we go. Alex Garza, you got a great question, and we're here to answer it. You said overhead soft source, skirted, real nice. How long is it going to take? What's involved? Let me know about it. So what did I do? I reached out to the big guy, Richard Mall, my friend and a key grip extraordinaire. I'm actually wearing his shirt. Kind of cool, kind of weird. I'll tell you more about it in a second. The first thing Richard asked me was, that was a toy car, more to come. First thing Richard asked me was, what are you going to be hanging this thing from? Do you have a soundstage where you have permanent beams with a pipe grid? Are you on a location where you're going to have to find architectural points to mount from? Are you going to be out in the middle of a field where you're going to be doing a car commercial or something and you're going to need aerial lifts or pettibones or to build a big truss rig to be able to do it? Could you just do it with 4 Max Menaces? Because that's definitely a possibility, Richard, right? Well, we're going to keep it simple. I built an awesome little pipe grid here with some Matthews C-stands, C+ to be exact. And here it is. I built a softbox. Check it out. And I'm wearing Richard's red shirt because there's contrast. All my other Matthews shirts are black, and this thing just faded right into my shirt. So there's the answer to why I'm wearing my boss's shirt. Pretty weird, but cool. Other question he said was, is this thing going to dead hang? Can you just tie it off directly to the pipe grid? Or do you want it to be adjustable, maneuverable? Do you want to be able to have options? Of course. And I got these little tiny pulleys. You think I'm going to do anything without using these little guys? No way. I love them. They're tiny. They're cute. Just like my softbox. And it allows you to move things around. That's what it's all about. Solutions with options, being able to change it around. You don't know what's going to happen on the day. It's the motion picture industry. Everything's always in movement. Another one from Richard there. So check it out. These lines that are coming up and going through the pulleys are going to go all the way down here to another set of pulleys. Let's pretend these are pulleys. These are actually just knuckles that I folded the lines over, and then they're going to go down to the stage wall to some braces. I have Mathelinis, but pretend those are tie-offs on the stage wall. And that's what you're going to do. How am I going to know which lines are controlling which corners? Bingo bango. I got my daughter's colored markers. Out there you could use electrical tape. You could use little foam core or paper little tags so that you can write exactly which corner is which. So right here I have the blue corner. Blue line goes up, goes over down to the wall, and it's labeled blue. Orange one's going to be labeled orange, green, and red. That way, the key grip on set is going to be able to communicate with whoever's operating either the chain motors or the ropes in this case, and be able to say, go up on the blue and the orange lines, or go up on the green and the red lines, and it's going to be an easy way to communicate. You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, you can use A, B, C, D, whatever's going to let you communicate from the operator and to the key grip, or the gaffer, whoever's talking you in. It should always be the key. Just listen to your boss, guys. Don't get in trouble. All right. So what else goes into it? A lot of things. One being, what units are you going to be putting in this box? First, the dimensions are always a big deal. How big is it going to be? Let's say 12 by 12. We're going to try to keep it simple. 12 by 12 is a wonderful dimension. And what are you going to put in it? That's a very important question, because if you're going to use sky panels, you're going to want at least 4 feet from your bottom diffusion to the top frame where you're going to be rigging your lights. If you're going to be using light gear light mats or light tiles, then you're just going to need like 18 inches or something like that. So the sources that you're going to be using, in this case, they're these little 0.5 spring clips, because I didn't have tiny little sky panels, so I got little clips there to show you that you could put 1, 2, 3, 4 in that box, because up top is going to be the frame that you're going to be using to support your lights. So you have a standard 12 by 12 frame, and then you're going to have these lights on crossbars that go across, a third and a third you're going to be able to really center those lights up. Then the bottom, it's going to be your diffusion frame. So your top frame is going to be supporting your lights. Then in this scale, you're having 12-foot sides, so the depth is going to be 6 feet. Why? Because I cut the chopstick in half right there. The bottom frame is going to be your diffusion right here. Richard mentioned if you want to really control the light and have it be very directional, you're going to want to put a soft crate, egg crate, honey crate, whatever your louver is going to be underneath there to keep the light very directional and keep the ambient light from shooting in every direction. You would put that soft crate underneath your diffusion, and that's going to be the last thing that's really going to direct the light in a downward direction. In Richard's, he did these awesome sketches that I'm going to post. He didn't have these little kickers here. I have these little toothpick kickers because I didn't know how this thing was going to hold together. Luckily, we got this awesome stuff, Flex Glue from the Flex Seal family. Rob Lalonde, we met this guy, a really awesome guy out in the Atlanta Cinegear, and he runs the studio. He's the production manager for the awesome people over at Flex Seal, and they have a ton of Matthews equipment, and they put out amazing content, and they sent us a bunch of swag and awesome glue, and I had some of this stuff at home. Rob, it holds like a champ. It's amazing. And I didn't even need these toothpicks. I could have gotten rid of them, but they look so cool. You're not going to see them in Richard's diagrams, but you see them here. It's a little Martine touch. No big deal. No big deal. But anyhow, moving right along. The materials that you're going to be using to enclose this box, we have Math Bounce. It's an awesome material right here. This is actually pillowcase and just a black textile that I had out in the garage. You're going to want the inside of the box to be white. So let's call this bottom right here. It could be a silk. It could be a full grid. Let's call it full grid. I love full grid. Silent full. That's wonderful. And then the inside here is going to be math bounce. So it's going to be black on one side and then white on the inside. That way you're going to have the non-reflective black on the outside, keeping all that light in. And then you're going to have that white on the inside that's going to be bouncing all that light to really use as much of the light as possible and get it out of the bottom of this box. I kept this open so we could see what's going on in here, but we want to be able to have a lot of skirt that drops down underneath the box. If you see that bottom frame where the diffusion is, you're going to have a lot of material down here. You can always roll it up. That was another one of Richard's questions. How much do you want to be able to control the pool of light in here? In order to really get into that, I'm going to close the box up and we're going to go into phase 2, where we actually throw some light in here and show you what it's going to do. Why? This doesn't just look cool. It's actually functional. This thing's really cool. And I have this awesome brick light. Ted Sim from Aperture and Indie Mogul. He gave me this after I did an awesome Indie Mogul episode about the 10 most essential grip items, pieces of grip gear. And this thing is a powerhouse. It has this diffuser on it. Boom. It's magnetic. It's bicolored. And it's dimmable, and it pumps. I'm not even going to have it up all the way, but check this out. I'm going to turn it on, put it into our box, boom. And I'm going to go turn off my overhead kitchen lights. Here we go. Let's just dim them down. So check it out, guys. It's alive. My little box. It's so little. It's so cute and so effective. And if you look at it, you can see that the majority of the light is focused on this car right here, and these two are just kind of getting half of the light. If I wanted to give more exposure to this guy, I could just roll up that skirt that I was talking about. Look at that. I just gave it a whole lot more light. Same with this guy over here. If I just roll that up, you're going to give him a lot more light. I can do the opposite by trying to pinch these down. Check it out. I'm going to pinch these down and really focus that light on that center car. You see, so that's going to give you, as long as you give that amount of skirt, down below the frame, you're going to be able to really control that light. That's what this is all about, controlling this beautiful overhead soft light that you have. And that also brings in the lines, the adjustability. So now if I want to move that pool and tilt the front of the box up, I can just pull those two lines and it's going to send the light in that direction. If I want to do the opposite and send the light back, there it is. I can get rid of the light on that front car and just have it on the backs. So that's where that adjustability comes into. Whether it be chain motors, whether it be pulleys, whatever system you want, I'd always recommend that you that you give yourself the ability to adjust the tilt and the angle of that, and also give yourself enough of that skirt down here to be able to control that light. You can almost close this thing almost all the way. You still have an amazing amount of beautiful soft light coming down. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the weight of all of this. Not only the weight of the box, but the weight of all of your rigging. And you're going to need cable management. You're going to need to be able to have a rope or some way to raise and lower all the power that's going to be coming down to here. All of that's going to weigh. You know, if you're using chain motors, they're going to be putting weight on your pipe grid, the chain or the rope. Everything that goes into account, everything that's underneath this pipe grid, it's all going to be weight that needs to be taken into account. Really important stuff when you're putting these things together. If you're using the 4 Max Menaces, you really need to know about that weight restriction and what is going into everything that box is doing. I think that covers a lot of it. I'm going to post the diagrams that Richard posted, or that Richard sent me, that helped me put this thing together. When we're talking about the time it's going to take, if you have 4 experienced grips on a sound stage, 2 hours you could bust this thing out. If you have an unexperienced crew and they want you to get this thing together in 2 hours, you're going to want more guys. If you have 6 hours to do it, 2 experienced guys could put it together. It really depends on experience level, but let's say 4 experienced grips with the right gear, 2 hours. If you're going to do chain motors, it's going to take a little bit more time because each one of those chain motors needs to be rigged with burlap, with span sets, with all sorts of stuff. So you're going to need to add a little bit of time. So all of those are factors that go into this. But for the most part, I think that'd be a good ballpark estimate. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was a really fun one. I'm going to keep this thing around. I'll take some pictures of what I get with this guy. And I'll also post Richard's diagrams. Thank you for the questions. Keep them coming. We appreciate it. And we're having a lot of fun. Take care of each other.